Well, this is a very timely thing for me because I literally had the opportunity to have this conversation with a room full of leaders this morning. So this morning I was having this great discussion with this room of leaders in North Toronto, and we started talking, and I started sharing about my own journey around resilience and mental health and what that means to me. And the way that I see this is nothing is individualistic. Everything contributes to each other. And I'll give you an example. I shared something that has become very real for me, and it's this notion. In fact, the picture on the screen that I used during the presentation is just this stainless steel cylinder, and it's empty. And what I explain is none of us have the luxury of ever just being an empty stainless steel cylinder. And I explained to them, when I walked in this building this morning to come here, I am bringing with me all of the pressures and the stresses that are real in my life. And that's no different for any of us. I had to drive and deal with the traffic and, examples. My mortgage is renewing. I'm concerned, like, what's going to happen to my mortgage rate and how am I going to pay for my condo? And, maybe you had an argument with your spouse or your partner or your children, or somebody in your life is sick. These are all normal daily pressures. And I think the mistake that we made early on when we started having the discussion around mental health is we looked at things as being one-offs. The emergency service used to look at things like occupational stress or post-traumatic stress as being a self-contained thing. It is not. The reality is when I walked in this room today, you and I both walk in here carrying our individual pressures that are just part of life. And then the normal workday happens. And what happens is we add on top of that all of these things that we now call occupational stresses. And that's okay. And as long as we understand that, we can deal with it properly. And it really only becomes a problem once we're full. And the way that I look and what I explained today is the reason that I proactively seek the help of professionals is to make sure that I always have capacity, because capacity is that's where resilience lives. And it has become such a comfortable conversation for me, but it's one of the most powerful discussions that I have individually and with big audiences of people. And it still amazes me that even today, as long as we've been doing this and as much as we talk about it, there is still this energy in the room. People are really surprised when the former fire chief stands up and says, I have a psychologist. And that's part of my personal healthcare team. And there's still a look that pervades the room where people are like, wow. And the message I give them is like, listen, if it's okay for me, it's okay for you too. And this is it's about all of us delivering and being the very best we can be. And I think we owe that to ourselves. We owe it to our families and the people that care about us. We owe it to our jobs, but we have to come first. And if that means that something's bothering us, the single greatest definition of strength I've ever seen is when someone will put their hand up and say, you know what, that's bothering me, and I'm going to go get some professional help because my health matters. That's what strength is.